Hi friends, we are restarting and we're late and it is a do-over. It is episode 31 of Getting Tipsy. It's a Wednesday. I feel like this is crooked. It's a bonus episode of Getting Tipsy. I started it on the back deck at Mom and Dad's house and it apparently was too hot and my phone overheated. I went into the emergency mode and I ended up having to put it in the fridge at Mom and Dad's house in order to get it to come back to life. So if you joined me, we're gonna start over and we're just gonna start from the beginning because that'll just be better. So what we are talking about today, Getting Tipsy with Erin today, episode 31, bonus episode, because we usually do this on Thursdays and today is Wednesday, is how to mentally prepare for the housing market in a competitive market. And I apologize if the lighting is off. I'm not in my normal home. I showed property on Bay Island and it went a little late, and then I came over here and I started outside and then my phone fried. But so talking about how to mentally prepare for house hunting in a competitive market. If you're watching on my business page and you're here and you have questions, comment here and I can see the comments. If you're watching on the watch party, comment there and I will check in at the end. And if you're watching on the replay, comment and I will check in often and comment there. So right now everything's crazy, right? And people are looking at houses all the time. And let's say you are looking at a house on Zillow, whatever, or someone posts a house on Facebook and you hit it and you're like, oh, actually. And you hit that contact me and then all of a sudden this agent out of nowhere that you don't know says, oh, I can show you this house, but. So those agents pay for leads, right? And they sit by the phone and they sit by the email and I'm not saying they're not a good agent, they are, but they pounce like right when you contact them. You may not really be prepared for all of a sudden jumping into looking at a house. The most important thing in this market right now is that you are prepared because it is competitive and you want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. I don't know if you know my background, you know that I worked in football, and when I worked for the Jets, I actually was part of a filming of an episode of Sesame Street, and if you remember, they had the word of the day, and Chad Pennington did the word of the day, and his word was prepare, because he had a Tennessee accent, so I always think of that when I say prepare. So go back and Google that one, because it's funny. But, so we are going to talk about my steps for being prepared in this competitive market for buyers. Step one, and this is very much probably my biggest like soapbox, hire a buyer's agent. Hire someone to represent you as a buyer. Here's the deal. Even if you're like remotely thinking about it, even if you're like, whatever, I don't know, just, you know, maybe I'll buy a house in 3 years, whatever. Come talk to me. Like, you don't even have to hire me, just talk to me. Let's talk, let's get on Zoom, let's meet, let's go grab a beer. I don't drink coffee, but we can go get coffee, I guess. I don't know. Let's talk about process, let's talk about getting you prepared. What do you need to do? What are you thinking about? Just so you know what goes into it and the process, so you have that knowledge behind you. Hiring a buyer's agent, it's 100% free to you. The seller, in 99.9% of the situations, the seller is paying that buyer's agent commission. The times they're not paying it is sometimes in a short sale they're not paying it. Sometimes the FSBO says they're not going to pay the buyer's agent commission. They're typically not going to get a lot of showings because why is a buyer going to buy that house when they can buy another house where it is being paid? But most of the time the buyer's agent's commission is being paid by the seller. So you're not paying that, but you want someone working for you. You want a professional to represent you during that purchase. It's very critical. They're gonna help find the house that fit your needs. The house you want is much bigger than just the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, and square footage. And as a buyer, you don't necessarily always know what that is, even if you think you do. It takes someone that does this every day to talk to you and talk through it and see houses with you to figure out what it is. For example, Donna can tell you we were showing her houses, and after speaking with her, we were showing her houses, and my mom said, I know you like to cook and you're not going to want to carry groceries onto the second floor. And Donna said, yep, you're right. And that took out all the houses that had the living stuff on the second floor. It's just stuff like that that buyers don't think about necessarily. Once you find the house you want to write an offer on, you want that buyer's agent to write the offer to protect you. You don't want a listing agent or a seller's agent writing an offer that's going to protect the seller. I always say, you know, like, what did we do before Google? You don't want to have to Google everything in the process and wonder, you know, is the internet really telling you the truth? Think of your realtor as Google during the house hunting process. Feel free to call me Google. I'll wear a name tag that says Google. That's fine. So now that we have that out of the way, now that you've spoken to someone, you have a buyer's agent, someone protecting you, let's talk about what else you need to have. 1, be prepared to submit a pre-approval with your offer. You want to talk to a lender, have your realtor, I can give you a list of lender recommendations to have an official pre-approval letter ready to go before you even start house hunting. You want to talk to that lender, find out where you're pre-approved to, find out what that monthly payment's going to be. You may be pre-approved for much higher than you want that monthly payment to be, or you may not be pre-approved for what you thought you were. So you want to know what that is before you start looking at houses. You want to know where you're comfortable going. Most houses in this market are getting multiple offers if they're priced appropriately and if they're in good condition. So if you don't have a pre-approval letter, you're not going to be taken seriously and your offer is going to be set to the side. So make sure you have that pre-approval letter. 2, be prepared to compete with other offers. In most price ranges, there's currently more buyers looking for homes than there are homes for sale. Supply and demand is telling us that it's a seller's market, and that means when you find that perfect house, it might also be that perfect house for 2 other buyers, 3 other buyers, 6 other buyers. So you just have to be prepared to be in a competitive situation. So that means 3, be prepared to move quickly. You may have seen the cheesy meme. If you liked it, then you should put an offer on it. As cheesy as it is, it's really true right now. As your realtor, I break down market stats for you. I looked this morning, and if you look in Virginia Beach in the past month, houses that were priced between $100,000 and $500,000, single family homes and condos between $100,000 and $500,000, that are not like distressed properties, so not short sales or foreclosures. There were it was 19,000. Yeah, 19,960. 19,900. That's not true. 1,996 properties between 100,000 and 500,000 listed price, non-distressed, single family or condos. Of those almost 2,000 properties, 618 of them went under contract within the first week. 30% of them went under contract in the first week. You cannot just say, oh, I want to think about it. Or you can't get listings and say, I'll look at this email this weekend. Or I'm busy this weekend, I'll look at them next week. They're going to be gone. It's just how it is. So when a house hits the MLS and it checks your boxes and it matches what you want to make arrangements to tour that house. And you want to be prepared to move as quickly as possible. I know it's not ideal, but you just need to be prepared. And you want someone on your side that has you prepared. You need to know, what are the questions I have to answer when I'm writing a contract. I send my clients I have an email that's contract questions at the very beginning, so they know, like, what am I thinking about when I'm walking into a house. Regardless of whether we're going to write a contract on that house or not, before we look at the first house, they know the questions that go into writing a contract. Number 4, be prepared to offer more than the list price, or perhaps ratify it more than the list price, because that is going to happen. That may sound shocking, and who wants to pay more than something that's being offered for? And I know it sounds weird, but that's the reality of what's happening right now. I'm trying to think of, I think my last 5 or 6 sales, I don't think one of them has sold at or below list price. But that's why having that pre-approval and understanding your budget and just knowing how that's going to change the monthly payment, that's all really important. I always recommend my buyers asking themselves, if I lost out on this house because my offer was, $2,000 too low, how would I feel? If I lost this house because I didn't want to pay an extra $15 a month, how would I feel? Or $20 a month, how would I feel? So be prepared to answer those questions. So just, you have to mentally prepare yourself, because this is a highly competitive market, and most of you know that I'm highly competitive, and part of that is being prepared. So just to review, 1, make sure you have a realtor protecting your best interest. So hire a buyer's agent so that you're educated and ready. 2, be prepared to submit a pre-approval letter. So be pre-approved, have a lender. 3, be prepared to compete with other offers. 4, be prepared to move quickly. 5, be prepared to offer more than the list price. So again, if you have questions, feel free to drop them below. Feel free to drop them on the watch party on my personal page. DM me, text me, I'm happy to answer them. I do have a new buyer checklist that I'm happy to send you. No commitments, you don't have to be my client. I just like for people to be educated, to go through the process smoothly. It's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be enjoyable for everyone. So if I can help educate people, that is what I like to do. So sharing it for free. If you want it, just shoot me a message, send me a text. I'm happy to send it over to you. And it's just the steps we go over before we start house hunting. Sorry you didn't get to see the golf course like we started, but I didn't want to put my phone in the fridge again. I will see you guys tomorrow for my regularly, scheduled episode of Getting Tipsy. Hope everyone's doing great, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great Wednesday. Bye, guys.